Hello everyone, welcome to another S.A.P.P iOS app review. Today we will be looking at this app called Noto. Noto is a free-to-download note-taking app available on the App Store. The app is rated 4.6 stars and requires iOS 13 or later. The app boasts that it's the modern writing app, boasting advanced note-taking tools that may be beyond what is currently available in other note-taking applications such as Apple's default Notes app. With the background set, let's look into the first launch usability of this application, which guides how easy the app is to use for someone who has just downloaded it. My initial impressions of the app were actually fairly, I would say, positive. The app was fairly quick to launch, and that is considering that I have a slightly older phone, the iPhone 6s, running the public beta of iOS 14, so the stability of the app was something to commend. I also liked the overall welcome note, which provided all the information. Beyond that, I liked the really simplistic user interface, as well as the ability to create things such as folders, and there's even small quirks like being able to color them. In addition to that, I also liked all the possible settings. One of them I really liked was the ability to change the app icon, and as you can see, it actually physically uses new features to change the app icon, the original being on the left and the new one being on the right. In addition to that, I also liked some of the overall, you could say, theme choices I could have between dark mode and light mode, as well as many other choices if you want, such as Touch ID, document layout, etc. In the editor section, you can also change your font, your background, you can change all your other overall styles, you can change the language the app operates in, which is pretty cool, and you can also turn off and on spell check and headers, etc. However, I think this overall review slowly went downhill when I started creating my first note. At first, it was pretty standard. I just put in a basic title, which was one of my more default titles for app reviews, and that would be the overall Noto video checklist. From there, I attempted to add a basic table to the note. However, I was surprised to find that in order to use just a basic table, you had to upgrade to the full experience, which I found surprising considering even the default iOS Notes app has the ability to create tables. This doesn't fully discredit the app, however, I was just surprised that some of the basic tools that you find inside of the iOS Notes app were not present in Noto as I did not expect. In addition to that, overall, some of the other features that the iOS Notes app has, such as photos, drawing, etc., are just premium features on Noto. The only things that Noto actually had were block quotes, which are fine. However, I still wasn't too sure how I felt about the overall lack of basic features that I can even find in my device basic Notes app. And for me, I think that really just took this overall first impressions downhill for me. I wasn't too impressed that some of basic features just weren't available, although I did like the user interface of the app, and I'll give it points for that. I also feel that it was important to note that beyond that, the app did have your overall basic iOS text editing formats such as bold, underline, italics, and strike through, as well as a few other special things. As we discussed earlier, Noto does have the ability to upgrade for additional features. These features include adding unlimited attachments to your notes, including images, videos, drawings, tables, the code feature, etc. You can also share in notes from other apps, and you can export out notes as PDFs, HTML, and JPEG files. You can also support future development, and the app creator promises to potentially add new features in the future. Although I am not a huge fan of some of the features that you have to pay for, I have to say the prices are fairly reasonable. 99 cents a month, $10 a year, or a one-time purchase of $25. After messing around with the application for a little more time, my overall opinion on the app changed. Although I, at first, when I was just getting back into using this app, was not a big fan of some of the features that I felt were missing, I soon realized that it's not completely the case. This app did have some pretty neat features that you can't find in the normal messaging and notes app, such as checkboxes. In addition to that, there are number lists and bullet lists, and after a while I did create a fairly well-formatted note, which I felt was fairly cool and is definitely something that is unique to this app. However, as I've stated time and time again, the app does lack some of the basic features that you would get in your normal iOS default Notes app, which I felt was something that kind of just overall made the experience of this app slightly negative for me, since I feel that I'm just looking for a basic note-taking app and it's asking me to make payments, etc., and I wasn't a big fan of that idea. In addition to that, I did have some small issues with the spell check feature on this app. It was definitely a little intrusive at times, and I felt the basic iOS spell check was adequate enough most of the time, so I disabled it. In addition to the app does have a few cool features, such as the ability to color code stuff, auto sort checklists as I said above, and I also like the overall drag and drop user interface that allows you to create folders and move things in. Another thing I found with this app that I wasn't a big fan of again was the inability to export your notes in the free version. I understand you can copy paste, however I really feel that you should have been able to at least export this note in the Noto format, but even that requires the premium version of the app, which I wasn't a big fan of. With all things considered, I reached my final verdict. In the end, I'm going to give this app a 4 out of 5 stars. Although I have been a huge critic of the paywall for basic features which you can find in your normal iOS Notes app, the app on its own is a fairly easy to use, well-designed application that I would recommend for anyone that is looking for a note-taking app with some advanced features such as exporting files. By that I mean I would only recommend this app if you actually planned on buying the Pro version. For me personally, and others who may just be looking for a free, occasional use note-taking app, I would not recommend this application only because it lacks some of the basic features that even apps like the iOS Notes app have. If the app creator were to reconsider perhaps taking some of the paid features such as drawing in tables off the overall subscription plan and onto the free version, I would give this app a 5 stars definitely. It is well designed, it is very creative, and I really like the user interface. Before this video ends, I'd like to thank all our existing audience members as well as anyone that's new to our team. Over this past month, we have experienced a large amount of growth, gaining over 75 subscribers and surpassing 110 subscribers as of yesterday. This is a huge milestone for us, and I just wanted to thank everyone that helped us reach this goal. If you liked this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as checking out our Instagram, which I will leave a link to in the description below. Thank you.